I'm a millennial, so I'm 32.
So the baby
and I'm a
boomers
Okay.
have all the equity in their homes, and they're the ones that are able to. That's why we're seeing that is
So why? Because they've been on their home for so long?
the equity.
The equity.
Their houses have appreciated.
Yeah, I hear all the time, I bought my house in 19 such and such for $30,000, but and then they say, oh, my interest rate was 18% or all this crazy
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, so the interest rate is what, 6, 7 now, but you're paying so much more for the actual house. And that's just what happens over time.
I'm not an economist. I'm not Lawrence Yun,
Like,
but
which
I'm
we've
I'm
seen.
pretty common sense. I drive myself in common sense.
Oh, I
So
thought you were
what
going
I
to say I
have
drive myself
learned,
crazy because I do that.
what I have learned is that real estate is a good bet. It really is. And because of things that you just said, people that bought 30 years ago, their houses have appreciated. I probably said this before. I'll say this before we get into the top 10, but during COVID, I started following these girls from Colorado, real estate agents, very successful real estate agents. And they started thinking about home appreciation and the values and the prices, and they did a deep dive. So they took, like, say, their mom or their parents or their aunts and uncles, and they started doing CMAs on people who had purchased their homes, let's say, in like the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And to see what would be the difference. And pretty much to the penny, what they would have listed those houses for today is exactly that. It worked out apples to apples. And the idea was that if we didn't have that crash in 2008, where everything kind of went down and then it slowly crawled back up, if that had never happened, everything would have steadily increased and we would
Yeah.
still be at the same. Everybody's trying to wrap their heads around, oh, it happened so fast. Well, it really didn't. During COVID, it did, but it definitely, if it was slow and steady, it would have done the same exact thing.
Exactly. And every time you move in your seat, it sounds like there's a squeak behind you, if you know what I mean. So stop moving around in your seat.
I'm so animated.
So animated today. I'm disoriented. No, I totally get it. I mean, I literally said this to somebody today who bought an investment property and said maybe that wasn't the right time to do it. You're investing in your future. You're going to make it work. I know you. I know you're a hard worker. You're going to make it work. And that's just sort of the avenue that they're taking.
And it will pay off.
It will pay
pays
off.
Yeah.
Real estate will pay off.
Yep.
It's going to be tough in the beginning. I'm thinking, once I finally get my house, I'm like, oh, I keep thinking like the day after closing. That's what I'm thinking of. The day after closing. Everybody walks away and goes back to their life. And I'm like, oh.
But you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
If I got myself here, I can get myself through
And I
it.
do think that we did see a little, listen, I'm going to just start in. Number 1. Okay. Top 10 reasons to list your home now.
Right. Meow.
The first one, number 1, is the housing market is heating up. I think we can all attest to that who work in this.
Okay, so
crazy
when you
real
hear that,
estate
we did a show one time about like common sayings in real estate and what they really mean. Like the market's hot. What do you mean by that when you say that?
I mean that the buyers are back. They were in a little bit of a slumber, maybe November, December, January. We have statistics that show in February. They came out in January because February was busy.
Yeah.
Houses are going under contract, open houses. We're seeing multiple offers again.
Yeah.
I know we probably already talked about 10 times the house in Hanson that had 30 offers on it.
Yeah. So something that I have noticed, and because now with the way that we can see things in MLS as a realtor, we can actually see the anticipated sale date. And something that I have seen sort of trending lately is like a longer
I knew you were going to say that.
a longer closing time.
Me too.
And so like and I said this on air, I put in an offer on the Hanson house and I gave a 2-week close. It's a vacant home. I thought that that was something that sort of stuck out
Would be
and
appealing.
would be
Yeah.
appealing to somebody who might not want to make another mortgage payment on a
Right.
house that nobody is living in. But I went back after they had an accepted offer and I saw a sort of very extended closing date. And so I was like, so there could be a couple different factors with that. Perhaps they accepted an offer that had a home sale contingency and maybe they hadn't had their house on the market yet. They need to market that and get it under agreement. Perhaps they do have a house under agreement already, but that's their anticipated closing date. Whatever it was, the closing date clearly did not matter. It was the other terms of the offer that got that offer accepted. My guess is the price.
That's interesting that you say that, though, because I've noticed the same thing.
Yes.
Extended like 45 days plus.
So, as a buyer in this market, and again, I can't wait to do a show once I have a home, but as a buyer in this market, I thought that the fact that I can literally close, I'm already there very quickly would be appealing. And just because that one offer didn't get accepted doesn't mean I'm like, oh my God, no offers are ever going to get accepted. I'm seeing as a trend that like it's extended. So me just being me, I'm curious as to why. I want to know why always. But and you're looking at me like, well, you're nuts.
Well, no, I'm thinking, could it be like the lender side?
Yeah,
Could
so
they need more time?
well, that's the other thing. I work with Jasmine and from Maritime Mortgage, and she's like, I could literally like she knows me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to close that quickly, but like I will. She's more of my cheerleader than I am for myself. So she's like, no, you can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
You
She's
just give me
capable of
give
getting
me a
it
date and I'll make it work.
right.
Like you're already there. You're at the finish
If that's
line.
important.
If that's important. I'm curious if there's other lenders or other programs that they're just not able to do that turnaround so fast.
I think you're right, though. I think a lot of it could be contingencies, which I did put on here. That's one of my top 10. But we may be a little bit more lenient with contingencies on the list side because, well, especially a home sale contingency,
Yeah.
because we know if it's priced right, it's not going to have any
Yeah.
issue selling.
So something for me, like there were, I think, 3 houses in my price range that came on the market last week. I didn't look at any of them because they were already at the top of my price point. They most likely are going to go over. So I'm not going to put myself in a position to fall in love over and over again, setting myself up for disappointment.
Right.
I wasn't going to go out of my way to go see a house at the top, tippity tip top of my budget, already anticipating that it was going to go over and try to compete with 30 other people.
I just had buyers out this weekend and same
Yeah.
thing. It was an adorable, looked like it was out of a Pinterest catalog.
Yeah.
Adorable house at the top of their budget.
And I don't remember who told me this. It was either yesterday or today, and I don't remember. And I swear I'm looking at you when you talk, but I can't think of who you were. They told me that they had clients looking at a house in maybe Quincy or Braintree, and they drove past the open house, and there were so many people that they didn't even bother going in.
It's back.
And it's back.
Yeah. So I don't ever want to disappoint buyers. You need to have a good agent who will,
Yeah.
like you just said, bring you down to reality and say, listen, maybe we can't look at this one. Maybe we've got to come down a little bit to give you a little bit of wiggle room. Maybe we need to wait a couple months. Maybe you need to save a little bit more money. That's what we're working with that buyer.
Well, this agent said to me, I really wish that you would have gone in and just seen, because you just never know. That's sort of the situation. Like, I wasn't necessarily going to put in my offer in the Hanson house, but Mary said, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Just throw your hat in the ring.
And I agreed with Mary.
You agree
Yeah.
with Mary.
Yeah.
Just throw your hat in the ring, because you just never know.
You never know.
You never
Right.
know. And you don't know unless you try.
Right.
And I tried.
And
I failed.
also, I think you need to put that offer in because you gotta, like we told you, you're in this business with us. You see us every single day with our customers. So you have to go in with high hopes, but also with a thick skin because there is going to be some disappointment, especially in this market. But if we can get our sellers off the fence and look at the top 10 reasons why they should sell their house.
Can I make a little
Sure.
thing? So when you said customers, I don't like when
Did I
agents.
say customers?
You did,
Oh
and
my
I've never
gosh.
heard you say that. But it made me think to myself when I do hear realtors say, "Oh, my customer, my customer." It makes me feel like they're not relational. Like,
Yeah.
we work by referral. I would say probably 80% of all of our business in the company is working by referral. Like, that's what we teach, that's what we practice ourselves. And I feel like a customer is like,
It's not my customer.
it's like
Why would I say
I
that?
work somewhere and they just come in like once a week, once a month
get
to
their
buy
regular
something
coffee.
to get their regular coffee. But it's like, no, like we have relationships with our buyers,
right.
with our sellers, you know? So when people say customer, I'm like,
Okay, edit
oh,
that out.
edit that out, please. Please, George. And then everybody who's been listening, just, just let it
slide.
let it slide. If you want to join in on the discussion, you can call George at the studio, 781-837-4900. We are live on Facebook, so give us a holla. Holla.
Right.
Give us a
if
wave.
you have
We're
any
waving.
questions.
If you have any questions or want to, join in and talk about the weather, talk about real estate, whatever, just let us know that somebody's listening to us.
If time permits, I always try
nobody
to
is.
listen. And you've been having some great phone calls lately.
Yes,
People
we
engaging.
have. Yeah, we've had really great feedback with some of our shows lately, and yeah, it's been great.
All right, so I'm gonna play Melissa, and I'm gonna get us back on track.
Oh, okay.
So, my number one reason is the housing market is heating up. So we are definitely seeing more buyers, more traffic, more demand, more multiple offers, more, like Melissa said, over asking. Now, that is not always guaranteed, but it is what we're starting to see trend. Number two would be home appreciation. If you've lived in your house for, maybe not 6 months, but even 6 months, you could have some decent appreciation. Actually, it's true because I have clients who just bought in Somerset last year, and I just sent them a comp that is very similar to theirs, and it was almost $100,000 more than what they bought for.
Yeah.
But home appreciation, homeowners in 2022 gained an average of $34,300 in the third quarter.
I would be curious, again, my mind just goes there. I would be curious if, like, I feel like that's very, like, by county or by town, or like it's very situational of where your home is located, because there were a lot of people during COVID who left the city and left city life to live a more, I don't know, is it rural? I don't know.
Yeah, suburban
lifestyle, because, they didn't want to be cooped up on top of each other in the city, We did many shows about this during COVID. And we helped a lot of people move from cities down here.
And now guess what?
And now what?
They're going back to the city.
They're going back.
It's right back.
Yeah.
That took a hit for a while, but now it's back. So I think that statistic was from National Association of Realtors. Gained an average of $34,300 in equity in the third quarter. And again, I did try
last year. So what's third quarter? So it's July 1st to August, September.
Yep,
October 1st.
Makes sense, which was the hottest time. Again, a lot of these I tried to stay hyper local, but some of them are NAR, some of them are MAR, some of them are Realtor.com, and Zillow. Number three.
You said the Z word.
Number three is the third reason is buyer demand is high. We have so many pre-qualified, pre-approved, strong buyers. Interestingly enough, today when I did my research, the one thing that is going down is, I'm going to quiz you.
Oh.
The one thing that is going down is down payment amount. Why do you think that is?
Down payment amount, like
So over
at
last
closing
year,
or at like purchase and sales and stuff.
Buyers are coming up with less of a down payment. Why do you think that is? As opposed to last year. You know
Buyers are
the answer.
coming up with, I know the answer.
Has
Because
to do with maybe some rates.
well, because the rate is higher and they're probably purchasing a home that is a higher price.
Maybe they're doing like they're buying their points and they're lowering their rate. So the money that they would have used towards
Yeah.
their down payment, they're
Yeah, so
using
they're
for other
probably
things.
they're probably in a different loan program, correct? So now they're either paying points or not paying points, or maybe they were doing an ARM and now they're doing a 30-year fix. And these are all things I've been in the business. I worked at a real estate office before coming here, so maybe 9 years. And I didn't really understand mortgage rates or like
still
mortgage
don't.
programs or anything until I was pre-approved and had my discussion with Jasmine. And even every single house that I've gone for, it's like, oh, Jasmine sits me down and says, here, this is where I think that you should be. And this is what it is. Like, you make the final decision, but like, this is the program that would keep you in where you want monthly payments. This is what you can do for a down payment. And I started off with a certain percentage down payment, but over time, I actually have increased my down payment. So based off of a different loan program.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a higher down payment so I can get into this better program because at the end of the day, and this, I don't know if I'm revealing too much, but I have the down payment. I can
Right.
do more as a down payment. It's what happens after.
And I think that's the point. They probably still have the same amount. It's not like they
Yeah.
lost it.
Yeah,
but
they might not
choosing-
have to. They might not have
They
to.
might not have to. And for them, it might be, hey, my payment went up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that money, in a little rainy day fund in case I need it.
Yeah.
It can go up $300 to $500.
And I feel like it definitely depends on sort of where your range is price wise. So like a lot of like maybe up to 450, it's a lot of first time home buyers. So they might be 3% down, they might be 5% down because they're just starting out. They're not pulling equity from a house that they're selling, but maybe a higher priced, price point, you can do the 10% down, the 15, the 20, the higher,
I wish I had noted also FHA and VA loans were both increased in the first quarter of January and February of this year, which makes sense too because they were kind of beat out of the market. In order to be competitive, you know what I mean? Like a lot of those loans really didn't get a chance to be competitive, and now they are, which is a great thing.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to, is the agent educated on these different either loan programs or what it really means for the down payment? Like, are there other parts of the offer that are really appealing? And I think it's always so important for a buyer's agent to call a listing agent and say, what are your clients looking for?
Do they want a quick close?
Do they want
some time?
Do they want some time? Because in reality, and I promise, it's not always about the money. Like it could be somebody who is giving them all the time in the world to find their next house. So they come in and they give what they can and they, make their offer as great as they can. But they are saying, okay, you have 3 months to find a house. That's great. That any time frame that is given to a seller is great from a buyer.
100%.
As long as the buyer is in a position where they could give
them. I should have put that down.
So is that number 11? No.
I'm going to piggyback it on one of mine.
Okay.
So to recap, the housing market is heating up. Home appreciation is on the rise. Most people will have some sort of a equity in their homes. Buyer demand is high. And inventory is low. So what does that mean? If inventory is low and buyer demand is high and we price your house right, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a guarantee that if it is priced right and is in decent condition, it is going to sell.
Yeah. I haven't seen a ton of price adjustments lately.
Yeah.
I did see one that was an increase.
Oh, yeah. So what does that mean?
It increased overnight.
Yeah. Maybe they had an offer that was above and now they're thinking, hey, let's bring it up. Maybe.
Possibly. That is one tactic that somebody could do.
So since we're talking about, sometimes I think we have a habit of talking, thinking that everybody understands, but when we say that inventory is low, what does that really mean? And it's, are there enough homes for sale to meet the buyer's demand? And right now there is not.
There is not. But the more houses that come on the market, the better chance that a seller is able to find their next home.
In February of 2023, there were 11,010 homes for sale in Massachusetts, and that average is down 4.6% year over year. The number of newly listed homes was 4,177, and it was down 24.6.
I'm not
year after
surprised
year.
there.
So inventory is low. So if you want to sell your house, you're going to have less competition selling your house. Number 5, is that Roman numeral 5?
Yeah.
Home prices are up. The median price, according to Redfin,
For Massachusetts or?
for Massachusetts is 523,400. That was in Massachusetts, and it's up 2.6%. So again, the first thing I think of with this is everybody who's like, yeah, I'm going to wait until the market crashes. I don't think it's going to crash.
To sell their house? They're going to wait until
To buy,
to buy. Oh.
I'm going to hold off on any real estate needs
Yeah, I
until-
mean, even if it did, like, why would somebody sell if they had, a great rate in their home and they have equity, like, and if there's nothing else to buy, like, why wouldn't, like, you would just sort of manipulate the home that you already have to suit your everyday needs.
But we
And I
don't-
feel like a lot of people did that during COVID.
Oh, 100%. But if you're looking to sell, home prices are up on the average. They're not going, I think they went down. This existing home sales on a national level, 14.5%. It was actually down like 0.002. It was a tiny percent that came down in the home prices, but they think it's kind of just a wash. So anyone waiting for any of the buyers waiting for that price to go down, it's likely not going to happen, which is a good thing for the sellers because the prices are still up. Homes are also selling quickly. So to your point, if maybe they want to negotiate the terms, but at least they're getting offers and they're getting their houses under agreement quicker than being on the market and sweating it out like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to sell?
Yeah.
There was a house on my street that was on. It was on since October.
Yeah.
Maybe it's what it ultimately sold for. It was definitely off on price and it sat and they were sweating it out. They were definitely like, when is this going to sell?
Yeah. I have a couple things with this one. I guess it probably sat on the market because it was not priced correctly. So that is why it's super important to price a home to the condition that it's in. And honestly, like even if you priced it to what the condition it's in, you'd probably still get over because somebody sees that number and they're like, oh yeah, like I think it's worth that and maybe a little bit more.
Like we say all the time, it's virtually impossible to underprice, but you can very easily overprice.
But a couple months ago, I had seen personally, I was going to showings at homes that I felt were overpriced and they sat on the market for a while. These were a couple homes that I saw. They sat on the market for a while and I was told, why don't you just throw a number at them? But me also being in the industry, I didn't want to insult anybody, but I was like, I just don't see the value. And what happened? They all came down in price. They all kept coming down in price.
Yeah. Yep. They did.
Yeah. I mean, they ended up selling for less than they went on the market, though.
Well, do you want to know how quickly they're selling?
How quickly?
Median days on market in Massachusetts is 33 days, according to Redfin.
So is that from list to sale day?
Days on market.
Okay, but what do you measure days on market? So is it days on market to to an accepted offer, or is it days on market to a closing date?
I don't know.
You don't know. But no,
I'm saying
for
from
you.
accepted offer, from accepted offer to close. That's what I would measure it. From accepted offer to close.
Oh,
No?
really? Never even heard of that.
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
would I would think of days on market. Like if it has an accepted offer, like I don't see how it's still on the market. Like it has an accepted offer. It's contingent.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's contingent. Oh, now it's under agreement. So contingent meaning you have an accepted offer, but there's some sort of contingency that you need to get over or get through in order to get to the next step in your buying journey.
I should have clarified that.
Yeah.
I think Julia did a typo.
You can't blame Julia.
I'm just kidding, Julia. You did a great job. Um, Julia added this: buying with urgency to make sure that they secure a new home. She's right. She's right. The buyers
I
that
thought you were coming up with these 10
I
things.
did, but she always adds. She
Okay.
does. She does fluff it up a little
Which
bit.
number are we on?
We are on 6.
Homes are selling quickly. That's 6.
Homes are selling quick. That's
Buying
what
with
we're talking
urgency.
about.
Okay. Buying with
Yep.
urgency to make sure they secure a new home.
So maybe
Okay.
that's why.
Elaborate.
Yeah, I think Julie added that to show that why are they selling quickly?
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. Buyers, we do have qualified buyers who want to
Yeah.
get into a home. They've waited. I think a lot of people still, we hear this day after day, people had sold during COVID and they're living with relatives or they're renting someplace and, oh, I'll rent for a year and now the rates went up and now it's,
Yeah.
all of these things that are requiring them. Now they're really, okay, we've got to do this.
Yeah.
The rates are 6-7%. Let's just get on with it.
We have an agent actually who helped somebody recently get a rental in like a condo community. So they're renting one of the condos because they really want to live there. They want to buy in the condo association, but they felt like to have sort of like a one up and like be in the know but they want
that's a
to
good
be
idea.
there. So they're renting there. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to buy the condo that they're renting, but they want to be submerged in sort of the community. And also it's a great way of sort of
That's a great idea.
knowing
Yeah.
if you are going to love it or not. And sort of you have sort of an easy way out if you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they've always really wanted to live in this certain community. One came up for rent. So they're like, we want to rent it, sort of be in the know of like what's going on because we want to buy in here.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Mm-hmm. So there's an option.
So number 7 is we're back to them waiving contingencies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not so much the home sale contingency, which we talked about before, but home inspections, which I would never tell somebody to waive a home inspection, but I think people are still thinking if I do it, it will get us a leg up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I admitted that I waived my home inspection, which I would never ever do before, but I did
Except because
of the house that I was putting in an offer in. I just didn't feel like there was anything good that was going to come up.
and you had somebody come and take a peek at it.
Yeah. And the offer that I got accepted in December, I did do a home inspection.
Yeah.
That house, in my opinion, needed a home inspection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
So, you can have it both ways.
Okay. Number 8 is my favorite.
Mm.
The number 8 reason to sell your home now, to list your home now, is because Realtor.com has designated the best time to sell is the week of April 10th through April 16th.
Oh, why?
Have you ever heard that before?
No.
Nationally, the best time to list a home is the week of April 10th through April 16th, according to Realtor.com.
I want to know why.
According to the Z Word, they determined that the best time to sell a home nationally on average is mid-March through mid-April. So kind of spot on with Realtor. Well, because we know that our spring market starts right after Super Bowl.
Yeah. But spring weather. Are we talking about weather now?
No, we're talking about spring market. So if
No,
the
but
spring-
I'm curious as to why it's April.
Because they're just kind of basing it on if spring market starts the day after the Super Bowl, if you count, Super Bowl's usually second week in February?
Yeah.
That kind of adds up to April 16th. It's probably year over year a lot of closings. a high number of closings. They're averaging.
It says the best time to list a home.
Oh,
Yeah.
the best time to sell a home.
These are your, that's why I'm like, why? Is it around Easter?
Maybe I'm having a hard time comprehending.
Anyways,
But nationally, the best time to list a home.
List a home.
April.
We're talking about selling your house.
You know what? Interestingly,
April
I'm
vacation.
going to go on this. Maybe April vacation, but also people are thinking, if you're a family and you have children, you think about the end of the school year. Mm-hmm. April, May, June.
Yeah, that makes more sense than
Way
what
more
you were
sense.
saying
See,
beforehand.
I'm so glad I caught myself on that one.
Oh, no, I called you out.
Number 9.
And that was supposed to be your favorite one. You said this is my favorite one.
Because I just thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was fun, all right. All right, so moving on to 9.
The number 9 reason to list your home now is your housing needs may have changed.
Mm-hmm. We've seen that.
This is, yes. And I have seen this a ton in Bridgewater. People that I know who are empty nesters who are now selling their home because they don't need that big house anymore. And they want less maintenance and they want to move to the beach.
They don't want to age in place.
They don't want to age in place. It's too big. It's too big. Their houses are too big. They want something little, small, little, 2-bedroom.
The right sizing.
Right sizing. Yeah.
Getting the home that's the right size for them.
On the flip side, I do have buyers, sellers who who bought 2 years ago and now they're busting out at the seams. So they need to upsize.
Upsize. Still right sizing because they need a new home for the right size of whatever living dynamic they are. But we have seen this sort of in our lives and with our clients is sometimes like emergencies happen and your living dynamic changes. Perhaps family needs to come and live with you. Perhaps family no longer lives with you. Yeah. There are things that happen in life that are natural in life that will change your living dynamic instantly. So it's sort of, it changes the demand that you have for your house. Like, again, you're saying, okay, yeah, this, 4-bedroom colonial is just way too big. If for some reason 2 people go to one person, it's too much room for one person. So their living dynamic has changed. They have to change where they live.
I'm already counting down the days until we right size. Till Owen is off on his own and we are right sizing.
You're going to sell your house?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want a little teeny baby house.
A little teeny baby house down the
That I
Cape.
can clean. Maybe Marshfield, maybe. Somewhere near the beach.
Somewhere near the beach. Well, that's good.
So number 9, the reason to list now, don't think about it. Maybe you want to move to Florida. Maybe you want to move to South Carolina. Maybe you want to move to nice, warmer weather. Maybe you don't want to shovel anymore.
Maybe you want to be a snowbird.
Maybe you want to be a snowbird. But
that doesn't mean that you don't have to own something here. I mean, you can spend 6 months there, 6 months here. Yeah. We talked about this in our condo. It wasn't you. It was Tracy on our condo show where a condo is a great alternative living situation for somebody who is a snowbird because you don't have to worry about a lot of things like especially exterior maintenance to a condo, or you live in a condo association. I'm just thinking of Lori. She has a condo in New Hampshire where they're just all so close up there. So like if something were to happen, like they help each other out. There's always somebody there. And then they have a management company that will take care of things too. So she's never concerned.
She just goes and enjoys it.
Yeah, she goes and enjoys it. And that's what everybody should experience, that they should get to a point in their life where they get to enjoy where they live. No?
100%. Preach.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm preaching.
Yeah, that's it. You hit number 9 right over the head.
Okay.
Because your needs may have changed. We started off on like not a negative note, but sometimes you're right. Things happen and people have to sell their house. But then sometimes you just want to sell your house because you want to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
My husband just got back from Florida. The whole time since he's been home, the whole way home, he's like, we could live in Florida. We could live down there. You could work down there. You could do this. You could do that.
Maybe in a few years.
He would never.
I
He would
don't,
never.
I don't
It's
want
nice
you to
in
leave.
theory. It's nice in theory, but like I said, we can downsize, move down there, and then we can go rent something down there for a month and
Yeah.
live there for a month. We don't have to live there forever.
There's so many options.
Okay. Do you want to hear number 10?
I do. I'm
Well,
on
the
the edge of my seat.
number 10 reason why you should list your house now is so that you have the opportunity to work with me.
You're such a goof. Oh, okay. And tell everybody why that would be great for them.
Well, I'm very good at what I do, and working with a professional agent will help you guide. This is Julia's. Julia added this. Working with a professional agent can help guide you through every step of the home selling journey. We have knowledge of the current market, and we can help you with pricing your home correctly. Mm-hmm. We will always look out for your best interest. We will help with negotiating and advocating for you to assure the right offer comes your way and you can make a good decision.
Yeah, I feel like making a good decision is always the right way to go.
And again, you would have the opportunity to work with me, and I'm fun.
Yeah.
Listen,
Can't you tell? We are so much fun. And I'm saying we, even though you're promoting yourself, but you can be my friend. You can be her client. You can be my friend.
well, if you're my client, you're inevitably going to be touched by you. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah. I feel like you should have worded that a little
I
differently.
really hope that anyone who's listening, the one viewer on Facebook, but the many people, I mean, I'm sure we have thousands listening on ATD, that you got some good tidbits about my top 10 reasons.
Especially
your
number
home.
10. And give that number one more time. Number 10 is what?
That you have the opportunity to list your home with Kristen Howlett.
And how can everybody get in touch with you, Kristen Howlett?
You can find me on Facebook,
Where?
Kristen Howlett Realtor.
Oh.
Sometimes if you want to get a glimpse of my personal life, it's just Kristen Howlett, Kristen U. Birdie Howlett.
Oh.
Instagram, you can call me 617-448-4896.
One more time.
617-448-4896.
Nice.
Text me, call me.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Mm-hmm. That was on Kim Possible, I think,
Having a little
on Disney
hot
Channel.
flash.
All right. Well, it gets very warm in here. The light over there just
we
shines
have
on
to
me
go
all
through
night.
what people are looking
Oh,
for.
yeah. So what is everybody looking for?
Oh, geez, Louise.
Oh, yeah. We don't
got
have
a
time
lot.
for that. We got a lot. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to make a post. So follow Boston Connect Real Estate on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm going to make a post tomorrow with all of our agents, what their clients are looking for. Everybody knows what I'm looking for.
Quickly
so.
perusing through, there's I will say we are looking for everything.
Oh, well, you're on the show, so you say what you're looking for.
I'm actually really looking for somewhat of a fixer-upper. Attleboro, Rentham, Norfolk, Foxborough, Rentham, that area.
Mm-hmm.
400, but it can be a fixer-upper.
Okay.
He's not shy. He's very well qualified. A townhouse or a condo, especially in Bridgewater, the Bridgewater-Rainham area, East Bridgewater, West Bridgewater.
Why is it on here twice? You have two buyers looking
Two
in the same-
buyers,
Oh.
yeah. One,
Okay, so you have two buyers looking for a townhouse or a condo around, what's your price point?
she is mid-threes.
Okay.
Yeah, mid to high threes.
Well, which one? You said you had two.
Two, the other one I'm hoping is okay.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, I'm
So
hoping
you have
that's
somebody looking mid-threes, townhouse or condo. What area? What towns?
Bridgewater Rainham. She wants Bridgewater Rainham School District, doesn't want to switch her kids out.
Yeah.
And the other is, again, Norfolk, Attleboro, anything up in
Fixer-upper.
that. Yeah. Yep. Fixer
Any
upper.
style?
Any style. He's not picky. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. He's tall. He's like, I think 6'10". So it needs to be high ceilings.
Oh, yeah.
be. Yeah.
So there's a requirement. You got to see these things.
Well, what's funny is we went to look at a colonial in Attleboro. It was adorable, and I was worried about the
ceilings are
upstairs.
too low?
But no, you know what? They had bumped out.
Oh,
They went up in
nice.
the attic, and actually, we were pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
The basement was kind of tight for him, but
That's
oh yeah,
all right.
so a basement with high ceilings. he can handle.
Okay. See, we're exploring more options
Yeah.
or more requirements for your buyer as we talk.
Team Flynn has a lot of
Yeah, Team Flynn has a lot.
Yeah.
But like I said, follow Boston Connect Real Estate on Facebook and on Instagram. I'll do a little, I'll create a Canva tomorrow and I'll put out a post what everybody's looking for.
And if you're curious, we can send you out a CMA to give you an idea of what your home is valued at.
Oh,
that
yes.
would be the first step.
Yeah, I'm also supposed to be saying this. So the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce is doing a meet and greet after hours event here at Boston Connect Real Estate on April 11th. They're going to be coming on our show, too. It's from 5 to 7. It's an open house, so please come and join. We're going to be promoting it all for our next show. So come and meet the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. Again, April 11th, 5 to 7, here at 19 Mattakesett Street in Pembroke Center. Boston Connect Real Estate, thank you so much.
It's going to be a fun time.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks
I'm so
for having
excited.
me.
Thanks, George. Have a great night. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Wait, I want to take a picture of you sitting there.